Yo, how we doing, y'all? We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna go over my weekly bias, my weekly outlook, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna start doing one of these every Sunday probably, but today I'm kind of filming this a little bit earlier. But we're just gonna get right into what I'm kind of anticipating, what I'm kind of expecting for the next upcoming weeks, especially on NQ and ES. And we're gonna kind of go over some other pairs, and yeah, we're just gonna go over my overall bias. So if we just look at what Price did last week we had NFP, and honestly. I haven't really been checking too much. I haven't checked at all that we have this upcoming week, but we'll see. Last week we had NFP and FOMC, and if this loads, we'll see what type of news we have. But recently my Wi-Fi hasn't been very good, so I just moved, so I got new Wi-Fi. But okay, Monday we don't have any red folder news. So already off rip Monday, I'm likely not. I'm likely not going to be risk on. Likely not going to be coming to Monday trying to make money. No, not at all. If you guys don't know already, I'm likely not trading at all for this whole rest of this month. I'm just taking this time to tape read, study, soak in information, and become a better trader. Not focused on the money at all. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not focused on the money at all, and I don't think that I should be, because that's not what's going to make me profitable. What's going to make me profitable is if I show up, I repeat what I do, I have a repeatable system, and I stick to that. I stick to my edge, and then I just deepen my understanding with what these markets like to do, where they book, where they're likely to reprice towards. So I feel like that's going to make me a better trader rather than just looking and trying to make money. So Monday, Tuesday, we don't have any red folder news. We don't have any red folder news at all this next week until Thursday. This honestly, like looking at this calendar release, this is very unappealing. We don't have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday folder news at all. We have 10-year bond auction, which is orange folder, and then Friday we have consumer sentiment. So right off rip, just by looking at this, we could see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday consolidation, Thursday reversal. So this is gonna be kind of interesting just based off the news. I know that news isn't the end all be all, but you definitely want to keep, or at least for me, I definitely want to keep in consideration of what the news is, and that's likely gonna speed up the draw. It's likely gonna push us to that draw. So any days that we don't have any red folder news, there's just higher probability for consolidation. So if we're zooming out this on the weekly time frame on Nasdaq, so that's what we're gonna start. We're gonna start with Nasdaq, and then we can work our way over to some other indices. I want to check ES, I want to check YM, and I also do want to check it on some Forex, because I just want to look at what Forex is doing, just so I can just get more action with price action. So right now on NQ, we come back down. We have this weekly fair value gap, and notice how this fair value gap had already been traded into. So I would like to refer more to this order block. So I would more use this order block as an area of what I'm looking for. So right now we came back into this order block, and now we're starting to respect it. If we're looking at this weekly candle, look at this weekly wick. This wick, that's a bullish signature. We came back down. We've come back down this order block. So just by look at that, this looks kind of bullish just by that. But where is like why are we doing this in the first place? Why do we have a move back higher? We're just repricing to this imbalance. We've left an imbalance on this move lower. We've had market structure shifts on the daily. If we pull up this standard deviation projection, this does look like we have room to work our way lower. Notice how standard deviation does line up perfectly with this low. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Right here, negative 1.5. That's where we expect to see reaccumulation, or in this case, be redistribution. But right now, coming back into this daily fair value gap, I need to see more. I need to see more. Right now, we're within a daily fair value gap. If we zoom in to the lower time frames, we've just liquidated this original consolidation. We're back within this 4-hour fair value gap. We also are back almost within this order block. So this level right here, this order block level will tell us a lot. So I'm really looking at this order block on the daily. So that's what I'm really looking at. This is where my point of interest is. So right now we're at a level. I'm not going to predict what's going to happen. I'm just going to see what price wants to do. We don't have any red folder news Monday, so right off the rip, I'm expecting low probability conditions, but it could be nicer. Right now, if we zoom out, like we have just completed a 4-hour market maker buy model. We've just completed this. We've come up to this original consolidation. We've come into this daily fair value gap, this weekly fair value gap as well is what we're currently in, and we haven't disrespected this, so I'm definitely keeping this fair value gap in mind. But I would like to see something like this. This is what I personally would like to see. We come back Monday, Tuesday, and then maybe we do something like this to then come back down to these previous lows. It might not look as clean as this. You might see time distortion here to when we finally get this move, something like this. But just by look at this, I want to see how it react off this level. Overall, this looks pretty bearish. This does look like a market maker sell model on the daily. This just looks like a retracement back into this fair value gap. Notice that like this is the only like large fair value gap that we had. Last week was definitely kind of interesting. I'm just gonna mark out equilibrium of this higher price leg. So right now we come back into equilibrium. We could be working our way up to OTE into rebalancing to this area of rebalancing to this inefficiency in this area of fair value. So this order block is really what my eyes on. As you see right here, we had unfair price action. So I'm just expecting us to come back up here, and this tomorrow tomorrow Monday is honestly gonna tell me what price is likely gonna do for the next 2 weeks, honestly. So if we get like a close deep within this order block, if we violate maybe mean threshold of this, I can say that we might want to run back on all-time highs. That might validate us to come back on all-time highs. But if we still respect this fair value gap, if we come in here and we like reject like this, that's telling me that we want to continue market maker sell model. So like we're in an interesting point of price, which I mean, not necessarily if we do get a close like this, that could just say, oh, we're all of a sudden going to go to all-time highs. But the probabilities are much higher if we close above mean threshold of here to go to these highs here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on NQ. I do like how we have these low resistance lows. We've now just taken this original consolidation, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful when it comes to taking anything. Let's pull up S&P and let's see what S&P is at. I kind of got a lot of drawings on it. I apologize. So we're looking at S&P. Pull up the weekly chart first. So if we're looking at the weekly chart, we've now taken this low here. We don't really have any weekly imbalance here like NASDAQ does. We do kind of have, I'm not really getting too much off the weekly. Let me pull up the monthly chart. Let me pull it up on ES1. So we have taken these external highs here. So we could say that we're going to come back from external to internal, which I'm really thinking that this draw is going to be very nice. Us to come back down to this fair value gap, it also lines up with this order block. So I'm really expecting price to come back down here within the next several months, but that's just like your monthly time frame. You want to know what the monthly is doing so that can better situate you to know the intraday weekly action a little bit better. But right now it's looking like we've just taken external range highs. We now kind of had like probably weekly change of state delivery, daily change of state delivery. This looks like we're gonna work our way back down to this inefficiency, this area of fair value, to then maybe get a move back higher or get moves lower. But that's what the monthly time frame is looking like. Let's pop over to ES or ESM, so we can look at the weekly chart. Looking at this on the weekly chart, you've had your weekly change of state delivery. This now becomes your weekly breaker block. So you have a low, high, lower, low. So I'm really looking at this area. We have a weekly breaker block. So I really want this to hold. If I can find my but box. I really want this area to hold. And if we zoom into the daily, we don't really have anything else but this daily order block and this. I don't know what I would really I'm just going to call this a wick, but this might be some other type of PD array. I'm not really too informed. But we have this wick here. I want to see a constant encroachment of this possibly hold to then possibly have a move lower. Right now, I'm going to remove this SMT. We do have SMT at the lows all the way down here, but I'm going to remove that because I think that the draw was already met, because SMTs only matter until the draw and liquidity has been met, and they only matter off a higher time frame PD arrays in my opinion. So we had an SMT at those lows. You can look at your chart, but I'll point it out to you. Wait, it was, wait, what low was it? Oh, it was on Nasdaq. Nasdaq took this low here. ES hasn't taken this low here. So that's what the SMT was. So I really thought that the draw was this daily fair value gap, and now I really want us to see how we're gonna hold off this area. I'm gonna trade the chart though, not my bias. So there is a bias here. We have taken this internal low, and a lot of times when we take internal lows, we really rebalance back to equilibrium, and we've now rebalanced to equilibrium. What would be better than equilibrium if we rebalance the order block? I don't really use equilibrium in my analysis much more because we're really just looking to rebalance to that order block, not the. We're really trying to balance this range, not balance to equilibrium. So that's really what the market's doing. So just in terms of that, let's pull up YM as well and then DXY. So pull up YM. YM has taken this low here, and just looking on the weekly, do I B dash A? Yeah, I do. See, I don't know what happened to my chart. Like, I couldn't tell you. So we have just come off this weekly fair value gap. We have taken this low. This looks like it could have been the higher type turtle soup. We're now keying off of two weekly imbalances, which I don't love. So we have an imbalance here. We have an imbalance here. So we do have a higher imbalance here on YM, which I think that we could trade back up into. We do have this breaker here. This is a weekly breaker. This looks very, I wouldn't say very nice, but this looks like we could have a shift in bearish order flow here. Looking at terms of the monthly, just like SP and YM, we have, or ESP, ES and NQ, we have taken this high here. We have come back to this monthly fair value gap, which I don't love. On YM, this actually could be kind of bullish. I'm not gonna lie. We have taken this low here in this weekly fair value gap, and I want to see if we're really gonna disrespect this imbalance. If we're looking at this weekly candle has closed, we've kind of filled in the upper portion of this weekly imbalance. So this looks like to me that this could be kind of bullish. We're starting to kind of disrespect this imbalance. This next week, I think will tell me or tell us where the market's likely to head for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So this will be a good week for us into the upcoming weeks. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no red folder news. So we'll be very patient this next week. I probably won't look to really trade. I'm not gonna lie. I probably won't trade because I think that it's just a time in the market where I'm just gonna let the market play out, and like there's always gonna be upcoming weeks within the market. I don't have any need to come in here and make money or try to make money. So just by looking at this, I want to see, are we gonna work our way up? And if we start to close above this weekly fair value gap, which we kind of have already started doing, this could validate a run on new highs, but I still don't think so. We have this redelivered rebalance PD array right here. That's kind of really what I'm looking at. We have this order block here, so high confluence area if you're bearish. We have that weekly breaker. We also have this daily breaker right here. So we could come back up here, which I think what we're going to do, and then reject lower. That's really what I'm looking at. Kind of bearish overall. And let's look at DXY. Let's look at DXY. Always need to be looking at dollar, what dollar is doing. So like I have been looking at, if we zoom out to the monthly, we have taken this, we have come back down, rebalanced to this fair value gap. We have taken lows within here. We've had displacement higher. The draw is clearly this monthly fair value gap, this monthly SIBI fair value gap. It's clearly what the draw on liquidity is. You can refine that more since we have already mitigated this. The draw actually is this high here, not the fair value gap anymore, because we have mitigated it. So just by looking at this, on the monthly, draw is higher. Look on the weekly. What are we doing? We have a weekly imbalance here, and look how well this order block is holding. We also kind of have like an inversion for value gap over here, but I don't really like looking at inversions. We also have a bullish mitigation block here as well that also is holding price up. Look at the wick on that. bullish mitigation because we didn't take this low here. But in terms of market structure, this would be a long-term low. I think you could validate this as a long-term low because yeah, you can validate this as a long-term low. It also is rebalanced into that fair value gap, so this definitely is a long-term low. So just by look at this, DXY looks pretty bullish. I do like this candle here. I do like this candle here. The fact that we're still respecting this level very nicely, I do like that. And if we just zoom in a little bit, we have left equal highs here, so we do have low resistance liquidity above us. Just by looking at this chart, I need to see more structure to really validate something. So like if we want to work our way back up higher, I need to see more structure. We have that clear original consolidation on the daily chart, which I kind of forgot to bring up and mention. Clear original consolidation. This is like clear market maker buy model, and this could just be reaccumulation within this buy program. So that's really what I'm looking at on DXY. So that would obviously support the bearish bias on indices. So I think that there needs to be more structure, and when I mean that, I need to see more candles print here. This does look like we don't necessarily have to respect this area, but I really am expecting this to hold. If we where's consequent encroachment? Consequent encroachment's here. We're still respecting. Respecting consequent encroachment. This wick is very bullish. Look how sensitive this wick is. I want to see more structures, so I can see something like this probably take place. Sorry, not that. I need to see more structure like this. Yeah, that would be a little bit better of what I would like to see on DXY. Obviously, you would have stop hunts within here, but that's what I'm looking at. All right. So bearish overall indices for this upcoming week, bullish on DXY. So that would really. I do want to look at Bitcoin because I never trade Bitcoin, so we really can't say that I know what I'm doing when it comes to Bitcoin, but it's price action, so it's the same thing. I think I had it marked up over here on this pane. Let me pull up Bitcoin. But Bitcoin does look nice. Bitcoin does look nice. If we're on the what was going on there? If we zoom out to the weekly or the let's go to the monthly first. Let's go to the monthly before we go on the weekly, especially something like Bitcoin. We have taken external highs, so whenever we go from external range liquidity, where do we go to? Internal range liquidity. When we go from internal range liquidity, where are we looking ahead? External range liquidity. So this would be a nice little trade setup that's forming right here. Internal range liquidity to external range liquidity. This is exactly what I'm looking at. If we look at this in terms of what this is looking like, what do we have above us? Low resistance liquidity. We have taken these lows here within the weekly imbalance. This does look pretty nice. I do like this fair value gap. I do like the fact that we had displacement lower into this fair value gap, also to liquidate these lows, and now we're starting to get displacement out of this. So the fact that we've gotten displacement in and displacement out shows me that this was probably a manipulation move into this fair value gap. So just by look at things, we now have closed above this imbalance, and we have created a new fair value gap here. So just by look at things, this looks like a clear, or not clear yet, but this is looking like we could have a market maker buy model, which it's more likely that we will have a market maker buy model on Bitcoin. So that's really what I'm looking for. We can look at this. We'll probably look at this within the next upcoming weeks as well. We'll probably refer to this, but yeah, this is looking like a clear market maker buy model, and that's what I like on Bitcoin. I was kind of scoping up some. I don't really look at Forex like that, but I was kind of scoping up some things before I hopped on this live stream. But in terms of, I don't ever trade Forex, so I'm just here to like give my take on price action. That's all I'm here for. So if we're looking at this on the monthly time frame, we have come from a monthly fair value gap. We have put in market structure shift. We have put in a long-term low. let's zoom out even to like a 3 month perspective. So 3 month perspective, we've even come within this fair value gap. We've had displacement higher. We have a 3 month imbalance, and we have left equal highs here on this pair. So this is looking pretty bullish. Bullish structure, bullish price action. We're now starting to displace within a weekly fair value gap here, but it is important to note that we have low resistance liquidity above us. Daily fair value gap has been met. I don't really like this. I don't really love this in terms of if you're bullish. We have put in a failure swing here. I don't know where I was going with this, but with this pair, I would be pretty patient. I would be pretty patient. I don't really see much here yet. This actually could be, I don't know. I don't really trade Forex like that. But this actually could be kind of bearish. We could get a run lower and then finally continue market breaker buy model. We are within a daily fair value gap, and we have kind of respected it. We have taken these lows here. So I want to see, are we going to get displacement here within the next week? So that's really what I'm looking for. Let's look at Euro USD, and then I'll probably chill with looking at Forex for now. But right now, let's zoom out. This looks bearish, right? Or I don't know. We have taken this low here. We've gotten some form of displacement higher. I need to look at the monthly. This looks pretty bullish, actually. We've had bullish order flow. Not order flow, but we've had that fair value. We've had that fair value gap, which I kind of like. If you look at the weekly chart, we have taken this low here. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't love Forex because this is the type of market structure you get on Forex. Like, does this not look like a lot of pairs? I mean, I guess if you know how to trade this, then yeah. But like, we're just within a balanced price range here on the weekly time frame, and like, I don't know about you, but all like a lot of times, like, this was exactly like DXY. We'll have a low, and then we'll like come down, tease it, come down, generate liquidity, and then we'll come back. We'll finally take that to where we come up, and then we come down to tease liquidity, and then generate liquidity, and then ultimately just chilling within this range. So you got to be aware of that on the weekly. In terms of the daily, we could be in a sell program here, and this could be the draw here. We have a low resistance liquidity on the daily. We've now come down. We have displaced lower. Do we have any weekly bearish inefficiencies? We do not. We do have this weekly order block. Which I like. This could be a sell program to take this low, but I don't know. I'm not really looking to touch any of that because that's not what I trade, and nor do I really care to trade it. But yeah, this is kind of just been my weekly analysis. What I'm looking for with the upcoming week, like I've been saying, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no red folder news, that's tough. That's actually tragic. No red folder news for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That just means likely consolidation for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But just know that it's not a for sure for certain things. I'm gonna trade the chart, not my bias, and I'm going to look at what the chart's doing rather than what I think the market's gonna do. I'm gonna react to what the market's showing me, not what I think the market's gonna do. I'm gonna react to the real-time data, and yeah, like I've been saying, I'm not trading at all this week. I'm not trading at all this next month, actually, because for me, as where I'm at in my trading career, like, I'm just going to take it slow, and I'm just going to take a step back and say, hey, we're in no need to rush this, and we're just going to give it as much time as it takes. And that's what I'm going to continue to do, and that's kind of my outlook on price this week. So appreciate you guys for watching this, and I'll see you guys next time, and just know that I appreciate